Hi everyone, and welcome back to my channel. My name's Sophie, and this channel is chronicling my journey of living my best life with multiple chronic health conditions. Today I'm just going to do a quick update as to how some medical things are going. Not great. I'm not sure if I've talked about my lab work, but back in December I had some abnormalities and we rechecked in January and they were still abnormal, and we rechecked earlier this month and they continue to be abnormal. So right now we're trying to figure out where all this inflammation is coming from. Both my high sensitivity CRP as well as my deteriorate are both elevated. They have not been elevated in at least a couple years now. We've looked at autoimmune markers as well as other blood markers, serum electrophoresis, and both of those were normal. So we're not really sure what's driving the inflammation, but because of how high the inflammatory markers are, as well as some other markers such as my fibrinogen is also high, and then sort of on that train my LDL is high and my cholesterol. That is not a good situation, even though my HDL and triglycerides are fine. Inflammation, high fibrinogen, and high LDL is not a good combination as far as being very plaque promoting, which obviously I don't need to add yet another problem to my list of problems. I am trying to change my diet to see if that helps the inflammation markers any, but I haven't really changed my diet any, even though they increased dramatically from December of 2024 to December 2025. So trying to figure that out. And then the doctor appointment I had was kind of what I expected it to be. He just said you need to exercise more. When I would ask him why is my muscles burning, he didn't really have an answer for that. So still no answers as to why my muscles burn so quickly when I do basically anything. I will possibly be starting physical therapy soon for my neck. I got kinesiotaping done after massage a couple weeks ago, and that was really helpful. So I'm going to try physical therapy to see if that can help my ability to stay upright without pain and discomfort. And I really believe that the primary driver of that issue is when I had the tracheoesophageal fistula repaired. They took one of the main neck muscles, the sternocleidomastoid, and instead of reconnecting it at the clavicle, it's actually wrapped between my trachea and esophagus, and that means I don't have that large muscle on the left side to help sort of balance my head and do head movements, and that then forces smaller muscles to compensate. And I think that is why I'm having all this neck and upper back discomfort and pain. It did start after the surgery, so it kind of makes sense. I just was never really told what the ramifications would be. It also wasn't thought they were going to go through my neck. It was going to be a different type of operation. But yeah, so we'll see if that helps my ability to sit upright. That would be helpful. But still no help as far as the muscular burning, but even for right now, I'm just putting that on the back burner because the inflammation is more pressing, because it wasn't like this previously. I don't think I've ever had inflammation markers this high before. So definitely want to get whatever is going on under control. We just don't know what's going on. And that leaves me with very few levers to pull, if you will, as to how to get them lowered. But I'm gonna try diet and see what that does. I'll probably get labs drawn again in a couple weeks and see if they're any better. Maybe add some more markers as well. There's other markers we could look for, such as the complements, where if it is autoimmune, the complements would be lower, even if my ANA is negative. So that will probably be drawn next time, but just sort of at a loss as to what's going on as far as the inflammation's going. And that's really it as far as the medical side of things. In a week, I will be getting a CTA of my head and neck. That's a yearly or every other year thing because of the fibromuscular dysplasia. Then I believe I see that specialist in April, so the results will be back before the appointment. But yeah, just trying to figure out inflammation at the moment. That is at the forefront of my current health journey, even though it is the muscles burning that stops me from doing things on a daily basis. The inflammation could have the worst long-term consequences if not gotten under control. Anyway, I think that's going to be it for this one. I hope you guys are having a good day whenever it is you are seeing this, and I will see you in the next one. Bye, guys.